Ekaterina Bobrova spoke about the breakup of the couple Daria Pavlyuchenko-Denis Kotkin. "I am very sorry to hear this. The couple always showed themselves from an extraordinary side. This was especially evident at the box office at the beginning of this season. They chose unusual music. They were always interesting to watch. They had very complex components, supports, and they were always in search of something new." Russian pair skating is not in vain considered the best in the world. At the moment, few skaters from other countries can compete with Russian athletes. Because the news that the Russians lost one of the most talented duets in the country was a real blow to all fans of Russian figure skating. Daria Pavlyuchenko and Denis Kotkin suddenly announced the breakup of the couple. And only coach Sergei Jabrostikov admitted that the first thoughts about this were visited by his students even before the Olympic Games. But then Daria and Denis got into an unpleasant scandal with Maxim Trenkov, who only confirmed with his criticism that the original style of Pavlyuchenko and Kotkin is not at all appreciated in Russia. Did the pressure on them intensify and the skaters wanted to leave? Daria Pavlyuchenko got into pair skating on the advice of Eteri Tutberts. A single skater with not the best jumps, refused to train for as much as 8 months, but subsequently decided, why not? Denis Kotkin also took a risk, who admitted that he had no future in single skating, due to similar problems with multi-turn elements. But in the duet, the skaters turned out to be stronger than ever. It took them only a year to master the releases, lifts and spins. They also learned how to jump in parallel, after which they set off to conquer the international arena. Pavlyuchenko and Kotkin made it to the finals of the Junior Grand Prix Series, where they became bronze medalists, and in the second half of the season, they already took the gold of the National Championship and the World Junior Championship. The transition to the adult level was the next step in their career for them, and the athletes did not lose face. 2 bronze medals at the Grand Prix stages and 6th place in the finals is an excellent result for debutants. The couple got to the European Championship instead of Natalia Zabiako and Alexander Embert, who starred and immediately became 5th, but a year later they took home bronze. Gradual preparation for the season in which the selection for the Olympics is taking place has begun. Even the dangerous kissing disease, mononucleosis, which overcame a partner at one moment, did not stop Daria and Denis. They went out on the ice charged for clean skates, but the unexpected scandal they got into knocked them down. At the Grand Prix stage in Canada, Pavlyuchenko and Kotkin faced harsh criticism, moreover, from a Russian specialist. Skaters with a unique acrobatic style of skating have always stood out from other Russian pairs, but, unfortunately, they did not receive proper support from the judges. Nevertheless, there were practically no public statements about this until Maxim Trenkov, the coach of the main opponents of Daria and Denis for a ticket to Beijing, decided to intervene in the matter. The debate about whether young athletes should be ahead of the experienced and artistic, but making stupid mistakes, of Evgenia Tarasova and Vladimir Morozov, has been going on since the 2020 European Championship. However, not 100% stability of Pavlyuchenko and Kotkin gave a loophole to their competitors. And yet, Trenkov should not have been rude to Daria and Denis while on the air. Maxim was a commentator at this tournament, and at first he praised the skaters, but then his mood changed. Kotkin's bold words that traditional pair skating is a thing of the past apparently offended the coach, who just preached this style with his students, and he could not restrain himself. "The circus is definitely more fun," he tweeted. And already during the free program, he completely walked over the rivals of his pair. "I cannot agree with Denis that classical pair skating is outdated. I think that after all, pair skating, where they show beautiful lines, where they show good amplitude elements, it's interesting, great, it's nice to watch. And now we will see it in the performance of the Chinese duet. You can say that when you get 80 points in your beautiful short program with tricks. But when you don't score even 70, then this is probably premature," Trenkov said. This conflict ended with the fact that Daria and Denis could not cope with the pressure at the qualifying championship of Russia, and personally gave a place in the Olympic team to Tarasova and Morozov. However, the consequences of the showdown with their coach, it seems, were more global than the broken dream of a trip to the most important start in the life of any athlete. The skaters missed the entire next season due to an injury to their partner, and recently Kotkin dropped an information bomb on everyone. Their couple ceased to exist. "Our journey together has come to an end. I am infinitely grateful to Dasha for these years of work. We have been through a lot together, ups, downs, injuries and victories. After Dasha's recovery from injury, we talked and decided that joint work was no longer possible. It was a difficult decision for us. But my path in sports does not end there. I intend to continue my career, because figure skating is my life. I love to skate and get pleasure and results from it. The last months, while skating alone, I took a fresh look at figure skating, and got even more fired up by it. What doesn't kill us makes us even stronger. He wrote about the breakup of the duet on social networks. Of course, trauma, past mononucleosis, which always relapses, were the primary reasons why athletes decided to take this desperate step. However, if you look deeper, you can understand that psychologically it was difficult for Pavlyuchenko and Kotykin to continue to fight the foundations that had developed in Russian pair skating. It's not even about Maxim Trenkov's attack, because the pressure was on the duo before. They were in no hurry to adopt an unusual acrobatic style, and Daria and Denis were forced to complain about injustice, putting the program under talking songs. Unlike others and, therefore, immediately freaks under such words, they skated in their last joint season. And, according to Sergei Dobroskakov, they were going to finish before the Olympics, so it cannot be said that this decision was spontaneous. Pavlyuchenko and Kotykin went to him for a long time. Unfortunately, they lacked motivation and support from the professional community. Their breakup upset Tatiana Tarasova, Ekaterina Bobrova, Alexander Anbert and others, but, alas, their warm words to the couple came too late.